Ever feel like we're living in the future? I mean, seriously, our phones, more power than like all the computers 20 years ago? Crazy, right?
Yeah, it's pretty wild, the speed of all this tech changing.
Yeah.
Mind-boggling.
And buckle up because it's about to get even crazier. We're diving into this research paper today, and it's got me thinking, what if the internet wasn't something we just use, but like almost part of us?
You're talking about 6G, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, this research paper, it lays out this whole vision, hyper-connected world. Exciting, but kind of scary too, you know?
Exactly. This paper's a beast, dense, but it's got all these clues about where tech's going in the next decade, specifically 6G. So for everyone listening, remember how 5G was supposed to be this huge leap?
Oh yeah, the promises. Blazing fast, everything connected.
Well, this research is basically saying, hold your horses, we're just getting started. It points out 5G is already hitting its limits. By 2030, 125 billion devices all needing internet. And not just phones and laptops either.
Right, think about it. Self-driving cars, robots in factories, entire cities running on sensors. 5G, at least how it is now, can't handle all that. That much data, that fast, not a chance.
So it's not just cramming more devices onto the network. It's like we need to rethink how these networks even work at a basic level.
Exactly. 6G is the answer, supposedly. But here's what's interesting. This research, especially Table 2, it shows how everyone's focused on little pieces of 6G tech. They're missing the big picture, the real potential for change.
Okay, so let's talk big picture then. What are the big trends pushing 6G forward?
Well, the paper outlines a bunch. But we got to start with what they call the rise of the machines.
Robot overlords? Is that what we're talking about here?
Not quite, but it is about a ton more machines talking to each other. What they call MTC, ultramassive machine-type communication. Catchy, right?
So, break it down for me. What's that actually mean?
Imagine a network where machines are talking lightning fast, like making decisions in milliseconds based on info from sensors everywhere, self-driving cars, avoiding crashes, robots working together in factories, that kind of thing.
So speed is important, but it's also just the sheer amount of info they're sending back and forth, right?
Exactly. And there's another layer, too. It's not just speed and volume. It's also the type of communication. The paper talks about MLMT's massive low-latency machine-type communication, basically those split-second reactions.
Man, that's a lot to process. More machines, talking faster, making decisions instantly. What else? What other trends are we talking about with 6G?
Well, this one's interesting. A little sci-fi, even. Gadget-free communication.
Hold on, are we ditching our smartphones finally? Now you're speaking my language.
Not ditching, maybe. More like evolving. This paper, it suggests a future where we're interacting with the internet constantly, seamlessly, maybe without even needing our devices so much.
Instead of carrying a phone, it's like we're in the internet. That's a pretty big change.
Oh, absolutely. And the research doesn't really have the answers for how that'll work, but it's a fascinating question, right?
Okay, one more thing I got to ask about. This one seems kind of strange. Rise of small data. Everything's getting bigger, faster, so why is data shrinking?
It seems weird, yeah. But it's all about efficiency, which when you have like 1 trillion devices all spitting out info, it's key. Figure 4 in the paper actually shows this really well. All those little messages from your devices, they don't seem like much alone. But multiply that by billions. Huge strain on the network.
So it's not just about sending big files fast. It's about handling a constant flood of tiny messages without getting bogged down.
Exactly. 6G has to be super efficient with all that small data, or we'll be drowning in it, even with faster speeds.
Makes sense. It's like instead of a few big trucks on the highway, it's millions of scooters all trying to get somewhere fast. You need a whole different kind of road system for that.
Yeah, a totally different approach to traffic, right? Not just bigger roads, but a smarter system overall. And that's what I like about this research. It's making us really rethink how we connect all this basic stuff we take for granted.
It's a lot, for sure. All this talk about tiny messages makes me want to, unplug my whole house just in case.
Well, hold on. Before you do that, let's talk about what this actually means, because this research, it's not just pointing out problems, it gets into the solutions, what 6G can actually do.
Okay, now we're talking. Hit me with it. What kind of future are we looking at with 6G?
How about this? Holographic telepresence, like attending meetings, concerts, or whatever, as a hologram.
Wait, seriously, like Star Wars holograms, I'm in. I knew that would be a thing eventually.
Yeah. They actually put numbers to it in the paper. How much data you'd need to send for those calls, it's insane. But 6G could actually make it doable.
Mind blown. What else?
They also get into Industry 5.0. Basically humans and AI working together in factories and stuff, robots that can actually collaborate, smart automation, instant data from a zillion sensors, all powered by 6G.
So not robots taking our jobs, but robots working with us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine a factory where the AI handles all the data crunching, the boring, repetitive stuff, leaves humans to do, the creative stuff, the problem solving. Could be huge for efficiency.
Okay, I like that take on the robot revolution a lot better.
Right. And think about what we were saying about small data.
Mm-hmm.
Industry 5.0, it needs that network that can deal with millions of messages flying back and forth between people and machines. It all ties together.
Right. Okay, this is my favorite part. Give me one more mind-blowing 6G application.
All right, get ready for this. Hyper-intelligent IoT.
Come on, now you're just making stuff up.
Nope, it's right here in the paper. And this is where it gets really wild. We're talking networks that can learn, adapt on the fly, maybe even using AI to manage themselves.
Wait, so the network itself becomes intelligent? Like, It's alive?
In a sense, yeah. Think about it. A network that sees problems coming and reroutes traffic, fixes itself without anyone having to step in. That's the potential here.
That's, I don't know, incredible. And also a little creepy. All that data and the networks making decisions. What about privacy?
Yeah, good point. And the research does talk about that. They know security and privacy have to be built in from the start. Otherwise, no one's going to trust it.
For sure. Okay, one last piece of the 6G puzzle I got to ask about. What else makes this so different, so revolutionary?
Well, we were talking about those terahertz waves, right? And how they don't love going through walls and stuff. That's where non-terrestrial networks come in.
Wait, are we talking satellites now?
Satellites, high-altitude platforms, maybe even drones. 6G, it's not just about what's happening on the ground anymore. They're talking about a 3D network blanketing the planet.
Right.
Everyone connected, no matter where they are.
So, like, internet access for literally everyone? That's a game changer.
Totally. Think about what that could do. Close the digital divide, bring education and healthcare to places that don't have it. The possibilities are huge.
So we're not just talking about faster internet. 6G could completely change everything, how we live, work, everything.
Exactly. But, and this is important, every new technology has its speed bumps. And this research, it's honest about that. Table 3, it lays out just how demanding these 6G applications are going to be. Crazy low latency, super reliability, coverage everywhere. It's a tall order.
So it's not enough to build the coolest tech. It's got to actually work for billions of people all at once.
Yep. And that brings us to the tech itself. The stuff that'll make 6G possible in the first place.
All right, let's get into it. What are we talking about here? Okay, so I've talked about why 6G is such a big deal, all those devices needing insane speeds, and what it could do. Holograms, smart everything, the whole 9 yards. But how? How do we actually get there? What's the magic behind it all?
Well, get ready to have your mind blown. This research paper, it goes deep on some pretty wild tech. First up, we got to talk about terahertz communication. You're hearing that one a lot.
Terahertz. Sounds kind of intense.
Intense is an understatement. Forget gigabytes, we're talking terabytes, maybe even petabytes per second. Downloading a whole movie in like a second.
Okay, now that's something I can get behind. No more buffering. But really, how is that even possible?
It's all about these super high-frequency radio waves, way higher than 5G. They can carry a ton more data, but they're also kind of finicky.
Yeah, I figured it couldn't be as easy as just flipping a switch, right?
You got it. Terahertz waves, they don't love going through things, walls, water vapor, even the air. It all messes with them. So we need some serious breakthroughs in antenna tech to make this work.
Sounds like a fun challenge for someone. What else is in the 6G toolbox?
This is a big one. AI at the edge.
Okay, we talked about AI running whole networks, but what's this edge thing?
So instead of AI just chilling in some massive data center, it'll be everywhere. Your phone, car, fridge, all making decisions in real time based on what they're seeing.
Hold on, my fridge is going to know I need milk before I do.
Pretty much. But it's bigger than that, right?
Yeah.
Think about traffic lights that adapt on the fly, health monitors that can actually predict problems, a smart home that actually is smart.
Okay, that's kind of amazing, but also kind of creepy. All that data, and it's my fridge making decisions. Privacy is going to be a big deal.
Oh, for sure. And the research talks about that. Security and privacy, it can't be an afterthought. Got to be baked in from the beginning if we want people to trust it.
Absolutely. Okay, hit me with one more piece of the 6G puzzle. What else is so groundbreaking?
Remember how we said those terahertz waves? They're kind of picky about what they go through. That's where non-terrestrial networks come into play.
Wait, are we talking satellites now?
Satellites, high-altitude platforms, maybe even drones beaming down internet. With 6G, it's not just what's happening on the ground anymore. We're talking a 3D network covering the entire planet.
So everyone has access no matter where they are.
Exactly. That's the goal. Imagine what that could do for, like, remote communities, education, healthcare. It's huge.
This isn't just about faster internet, is it? This is like changing the world kind of stuff.
No doubt about it. But gotta be real. Any new tech, especially something this big, it's going to have some speed bumps. And this research, it lays those out too. Table 6, it lists some of the big challenges they're facing with 6G.
Like what? What's standing in the way of this super connected future?
Some of it's technical, like we need to figure out how to even build things that can handle those terahertz frequencies. Some of it's just the sheer scale, managing billions of devices all talking at once. That's not easy.
That's like air traffic control, but for the entire internet.
Exactly. And then, of course, we got to make sure 6G is done right, sustainably, securely, so everyone benefits, not just a select few.
Right. We don't want to create more problems while we're trying to solve others.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
That's why they keep saying this can't just be one company or one country. It's got to be a global effort to get this right.
So it's not just a race to build the fastest network. It's bigger than that.
Way bigger. This research is exciting, don't get me wrong, but it's also a call to action, This tech has the potential to change the world, but we got to make sure it's for the better.
Powerful stuff. So as we wrap this up, what's the big takeaway for everyone listening? What should they be thinking about?
The future is coming, ready or not. 6G is on its way. We've got challenges, yeah, but the potential, it's enormous. Faster speeds are just the tip of the iceberg. Holograms, a truly connected planet, it's all on the table. 6G could change everything, and it's happening now.
A lot to digest, for sure. I gotta say, I'm excited to see where all this goes. Who knows? Maybe we'll look back at this conversation in a few years and laugh about how little we knew.
Right. Or maybe we'll be having this conversation as holograms.
Now there's an image. That's it for our deep dive into the world of 6G. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time for another peek into the future.